So Michelle, good evening, everyone. And thank you for taking that invitation to avail yourself to participate in such a timely, important, and very touchy topic. So I just want to show appreciation to Sister Melissa, Sister Andrea, Sister Faye, and Sister Natalie, because they did not hesitate in saying yes to this call. Before I proceed, and I may say it later on, I just want to say that caring for aging parents and family members is a very challenging role. Literally, there's a role change. They were taking care of us, now we're taking care of them. Tonight, as we're having this pertinent discussion, I want us to be aware that this is a place where everyone is encouraged to participate without being made to feel ashamed, guilty in their decision. Some of our audience may be able to identify and could still be working out things amongst family as it relates to primary caregiving. Maybe you're experiencing caregiver burnout. We would like to encourage respectful communication and ensure that things that we need to discuss directly with family member is discussed directly with family member and not use this platform for that to do that instead. We want everything to be done decently and in order. And if for any reason I see it's kind of going in that area, I might have to redirect because I just want this to be a safe and healthy place and a safe and healthy discussion. So just want to let everyone know, and I thank the other members of the health and wellness team that worked along. I'm not doing it solo, but there's a powerful team with me that put this thing together. So we're gonna go straight into our session, and I'm gonna do it in the form of an interview, and I'm gonna do Sister Andrea first, okay? So, Sister Andrea, just give us a brief synopsis of how you became primary caregiver for your loved one.
Good night, everyone. I just want to say that Sister Letha is actually here with me too, because although I am the primary caregiver, she's really very tightly behind me as a secondary caregiver and does, almost everything that I do too. But I am the primary caregiver. So I became the primary caregiver. I'm going to say shortly after my mom passed away. So my mom passed away, I'm going to say 9 years ago, this past November 15th. It was 9 years. And a year after that, so we moved my dad with us right away and into our home. And a year after that, he was given a diagnosis, a chronic diagnosis, and one that is progressively deteriorates. So I then became his primary caregiver because my mom was no longer here to take care of him. And Alethea, also living with me, also became a caregiver also for my dad. So that's how it came about.
Okay, so how does he feel about that?
My dad is elated. I must say that at the beginning, it was very difficult for him, and even sometimes now, but just based on what he says to us, we recognize that he's elated. It was very difficult for him at the beginning. He did not want to even move in with us. He wanted to stay by himself, and we knew that after so many years of marriage with my mom, for him to live alone, we knew he was going to slide, deteriorate real quickly. There wasn't a question in our minds. So he did not want to live with us because he said he didn't want to become a burden to us. We actually gave him a few options. We said, well, one of your options is not to live alone. You have 4 children that have homes in this area. You choose which one you want to stay with. So he chose to live with us because prior to my mom's passing, every single Sunday, they came to our house for dinner every single Sunday after church. They came for dinner. And so he said this was the place he felt most comfortable with because he was here every week, right? So at the beginning, he felt like, oh my gosh, I'm just a trouble to these people because they're, as things started to move in terms of the condition and him requiring more help, he started to feel like he was more of a burden and a problem to us, although we assured him that was not and is still not the case, right? But just having been an independent person for so many years, and to be honest, my dad, he is now 87, but up until he was, I'm going to say 75, 76, he was still racing the men at church picnics in the summer. He was still racing with them. So you see, running with them and doing very well in his races, right? So you can understand why he would feel, oh, have people looking after me, this is more troublesome to them and a burden. So, but now he's been elated for years, I know, because people come to us and say, your dad just raves about you guys, just how wonderful you are, how you take care of him, how he could never have asked for better children. And I hear it all the time. We hear it all the time. So I know that he is elated now that we are taking care of him. Yeah.
Thank you.
You have anything to add?
Yeah. Do you have a support system in place to have access to resources to assist you in this role?
I'm going to say my main, okay, so up until recently, we were all, I should say, Alethea, myself, Norma, my older sister, and Dean, when he's able to, brother, and this is our support system, and Natalie, the eldest grandchild, have been very, very helpful. So they have been the main support system in terms of if somebody needs to go somewhere, then we, can call upon one of those and one of those others, and mostly they can help, so that we can go do what we have to do. Family is our main support system right now. And I'm going to say, I call those names because those are the ones that are around us closer, and those are the ones that really, really are very helpful. Then the other support system would be externally, being he has a PSW, right, that comes in to bathe him and to help him change. Then he also has a physiotherapist. Physiotherapist who comes in. He also has a massage therapist who comes in to massage his muscles, help him to feel better. And also there's the occupational therapist who is not so much active right now, but he was the one that came in and told us what we needed to help outfit the home to help my dad to be safe. But our main support system is those family members. Others help too, but not to the degree of the ones that I call their names, because like I said, we're the ones that are in this neighborhood. And so that's the main support system. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, what modification have you put in place to ensure safety for your dad?
Quite a bit. We've had quite a few apparatus, if you will, that we've had to install. Naturally, he has a walker and a wheelchair. He has a recliner that we purchased that the one that automatic plugs in, so it takes him back to recline and come forward when he needs to. We bought one of those beds that also, you can, it's plugged in and it helps him to raise up and to lie down. We have installed grab bars in the rooms where he goes in so that he can have something to hold on to when he's walking. We've got the toilet rail that when he goes into the toilet, he's able to hold on to it, to sit down and to raise himself up. We changed his what he wears on his feet in terms of slippers that are non-skid slippers. socks that are non-skid and slippers that are built for someone that who has his condition, which is Parkinson's is one of the names they call it. He's got night lights, so in the nighttime, if he has to move around, everywhere is well lit, so he can move around and not get hurt. We have a camera that we mainly use for listening to him, because many times in the night he cannot get up, or he's never fallen, thank God. He's never fallen, but sometimes in the night he's not able to get up and he'll be calling out for help. And there were times that nobody could hear him, or he was sliding off the chair and not able to get up, and no one's able to hear him. So we bought a camera mainly for audio to be able to hear when he's calling, because his voice tone has become very soft as this condition progresses, and so a lot of times we don't hear him. So we had the cameras installed, and of course, the camera also helps to see if he's in a precarious position where he needs to be lifted up and just cannot. We've put bells all over the place that he can ring, but a lot of times in a position where he can't get up and can't get to the bell either. So yeah, those are the things we've put in place to help him.
Awesome, awesome. Now, we've talked about you giving care to your dad. Now, let's flip it a bit. Caregiving can be a rewarding experience. However, it can also be stressful. What are some of the things that you do to create a balance as a caregiver?
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Alita said drink whiskey. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, that has one. What are others?
Sorry. Yeah. So I'll let Alita speak, but I'll speak for myself. Because it is a very laborious job, it is at all times you've got to be thinking about your next move, what has to be done next. So I work. So that's part of my balance. I actually go to work in the morning after getting, before I leave, I make his breakfast and his lunch, make sure he has his medication, make sure he's got his eye drops and so forth. So work is actually part of my balance. I go to work, I work with mostly special needs children, to be honest. And that is actually a balance for me. It's a break from the routine. Another balance I have is I'm very busy at church too, very busy at church. And that I consider to be a balance too, because again, that's something else that I'm doing. Alifia and we walk every day. We try to walk for an hour every day, and it just a time to talk and to talk about, what next that we need to do, a problem that happened today, how can we resolve it, how can we help him. So we try to walk every day, and we walk as cold as it is, we walk. The only time we really don't walk is if it's pouring rain or if it's icy outside, we don't walk. But that's a balance. Also, I like to do spas with the spa treatments with the girls, Allison and Amanda. They know that we say, okay, it's time for our spa treatment, and we do that together. And that's and they never say no, because they know that that's helping me as just to deflect something different to do. And of course, I get away quite a bit to New York, and that's also a break. And that's also a balance, helps me to create a balance too. And Alethea? She already said whiskey, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's all for her.
I'm sorry.
I guess it's effective.
No, he's kidding herself. Yeah. So that's how I create a balance. And Alita does not have whiskey, but she does participate. She does participate in the walking, and she goes to the gym regularly. So that helps her to have a balance also in the handling of the day-to-day job that we have to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Andrea. Any final comments? Anything that I haven't asked or you haven't shared that you'd want this audience to know?
Yes. I want the audience to, I'll find out if Alisa has anything to say, that caring for a loved one, it's a very an aging parent. Anyway, it's a very rewarding experience. It is very difficult. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Very difficult. However, something we try to instill. My dad is very independent and he likes to do things for himself. A lot of things that he wants to do are dangerous. They can be seen as dangerous, like to let go of it. He cannot walk without his walker. He'll want to let go of his walker and do things. And, we see him start to toddle. And sometimes we will get, Dad, you can't do that. You're going to fall and hurt yourself, right? And then we have to catch ourselves and realize that he's been so independent all his life that the one little thing that he's trying to do, which is to move without his walker, and we're sort of, Dad, no, you can't do that, and you'll see on his face the stress that I'm just trying to do something for myself. Or if something drops on the floor, he cannot pick it up because if he bends down, he gets very, very dizzy and out of breath. And so something as simple as that, he'll try to do it and we'll go, Dad, you can't be picking up that, you can't bend down. And then we have to catch ourselves and remember, it's something simple he's been doing all his life. So patience is so important when working with a senior. You have to, as an aging senior who's ailing, you have to be very, very patient. You have to catch yourself. You have to pray and ask God to help you to realize that this person is not deliberately trying to just make your life difficult, that all their life, they have been taking care of themselves. And all of a sudden, once a man, twice a child, you are now taking care of this person. So patience is so important. And just to, let that person know that we understand you've always done this and we understand, we're just trying to help you. I always say to my dad, there's one thing we're trying to keep you out of the hospital. And so when we seem like we're getting at you, that you've got to hold on to your walker, you got to do that, you can't be picking up things, we're trying to keep you out of the hospital. We said, because we don't want you to have to be in the hospital, right? And so patience, that's the main thing I'm going to say. Have patience and kindness and tenderness when dealing with an aging loved one who is also ailing. And anything, do you have anything to say?
Sorry, hi there. In agreement with Andrea, funny enough, I didn't even see what she was going to say, but I was just looking up the fruits of the spirit. One of them is patience and the other one is gentleness. And I think those two things are very key. And I also think humor plays a fantastic role when you really want to scream or be a little bit harsh, make a joke out of it, which I did today quite a bit.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you, Sister Andrea and Alicia, for participating and for sharing with us. And this is awesome. And for helping someone that may be going through it, or who knows what will happen, in the future. So this is very, very pertinent. I wanted to have Melissa at the end because she has so much wealth of resources that we want to tap into and use all of the balance of the time at the end, if she can hang on to the end. So we could have Sister Faye and Natalie together. If you could answer together, would be great. All right. So my question to you. Okay. Tell us how it happened that you become primary caregiver for your mom. I think you both were, or how you shared it.
Okay, Faye, do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I became, good evening, everyone. Naya.
Hi, she's okay.
Sorry. So I became primary caregiver to my mom because I was still living with my mom. So basically when everything happened, it fell back on me. Or not to say it fell back on me, but because I'm here, then I basically had to deal with everything.
Okay, so
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so she's pretty much said that, because of the fact that mom was living and both of them were living together, then, when it happened, like she just had to deal with it because she was just there, right? So, but for me, because I worked in a healthcare facility for over 30 years, um, I kind of understood the different signs and different things that were that would happen and that you can see um, happen, the different adjustments that would need to be made and stuff like that. I pretty much knew by the different clients, residents, people that were around me that have experienced with the same symptoms. It caused me to recognize with the signs within my own mom who was dealing with that. So because of it's not like she said, okay, I want you to take care of me. It's not like that. It wasn't selected like that. I think my aunts were pretty much the ones that she fell back on. Um, but because they do travel and stuff like that, it kind of was fitting for me to just fall into place. So for me, that's how I became more of the prime because of my understanding with Alzheimer's, dementia.
Awesome. Thank you. So how difficult was it, the decision to transition your loved one from home into a long-term care setting?
Oh,
It wasn't easy. Um, it wasn't easy because, you know, like my mom has done a lot for a lot of people. And whether it was family members, church members, friends, somebody's saying, you can't put Sister Fraser in a nursing home. You can't put Aunt Janice in a nursing home. And as much as it was becoming overwhelming, because when everything started to happen, I was pregnant as well as a little bit after when I gave birth to my first child. So it was a little bit overwhelming to try to deal with my mom, as well as I'm a new mother, not knowing how to even deal with my own child. So um, it became it became hard um, to basically transition into a nursing, to put my mom into a nursing home, or to decide to put my mom into a nursing home.
yeah, it wasn't an easy decision. It was definitely hard. We tried the best that we I think we made the decision pretty much like with the stages, right? Like when we saw certain signs and certain things happen and things were developing and found out that it was more challenging, it was a hard decision to make, but we just had to do it based on her safety, as well as Natalie's safety, the family safety. So yeah, it was really hard to transition her into a long-term care, knowing that she would prefer. She did say that she wanted to be home, and she said that she wanted to be home. She didn't want to go into a home. She really didn't want to go in a home, but because of all the different uh, situations within our siblings, like she has 5 kids, but all of us work. We live, some live further away, and then a bunch of us live in Brampton. It was quite further away from where she is, so it wasn't as easy to put, every her, I would say, within the schedule of our own life. So it was hard, but it was something that needed to be done.
Thank you. And one of the things I noticed was that you were all taking turns I
Yes.
remember there
Yes.
are times when she would be with you, another time she would be with Lorraine. And
Yes.
that's so commendable to see that teamwork of how you as siblings pull together and say, we're taking care of her right to the very end until we're not able to do it anymore. So I, looking from the outside, I saw that.
Right. You're so right. You're so right. We had to do what we had to do just because she was our mom and she treated us very well. She took very good care of us, and we know that she wanted the best for everybody, and we just wanted to, do the same for her as to give her the best care that she would need in this time. So, yeah.
And one of the things, and we're having this discussion that people have to be aware of, the issue of placing guilt on, and we come from a community where we say we will never do certain things, and
Hmm.
that never is said out of ignorance because we don't know how situation will change, what will happen. Because
Yeah.
I had to place my mom, my sisters, and we had to make that decision because of the progress that was happening with her condition. Because when it comes to dementia, with Alzheimer's or whatever, safety is number one. They can
That's right.
open that. If you look and you see so many people that is being put on the news as being missing,
That's
it's
right.
they open the door, they're gone. It's winter, and if they're not dressed properly, you know, the next thing you know, when they're found, it's not a good one. You
Yes.
go to bed, they have the stove on. There's so much things when it comes to safety that you have to think about instead of what people will say, what people will think, what people will come to you and try to make you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, you want to take her then? How about that? No, 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 no,
Exactly.
no. Because then why are you butting into something that you don't know?
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, they are doing the same thing. And then
Yeah.
that's when the reality is there because now they're experiencing what they didn't know was happening.
Exactly.
Somebody has experienced that.
Yes.
So, yes, so that's the reality of it. Now, um, again, how does your mom feel about you as her caregiver? Because even though she's in a long-term care, you're still there. How does how how does she respond to that?
So for me, it was a little bit hard for her, because I am the baby. So I'm to take care of you, you're not to take care of me. And so in the first initial stages or a couple of months, my mom would be like, like, I can do this by myself. I don't, kind of like, she felt she could do it by herself, but the reality of it is that she wasn't able to do certain things by herself. She was physically fit to do everything, but mentally, if she moved the spoon and then 5 minutes later, where's the spoon? She didn't remember that she moved the spoon. So I would have to, be there for her. But I think she eventually, not say she understood, but she started to be a little bit more lenient on me. I couldn't bathe her. She was not having it with me to bathe her. But if Faye came, Faye was basically the angel for me. She was definitely my she was definitely like my support system. But when Faye came, mom take off her clothes, mom whatever, and she jumped in the bath. Faye was able to say, and I feel like I was like, how, like, I've been asking mom to go into the bathroom for like the last half an hour. You just came and was like, Mom, okay, I'm gonna give you a massage. Do you want a massage? She's like, yes, I want a massage. Okay, well, we have to take a shower first. And when you take that shower first, then I will give you a massage after. And my mom just everything Faye said, she just went along with it. If it was me, it was a whole different ballgame. So I realized that when it came to like showers, I just made Faye deal with it because I was just like, I couldn't take on the fight of it. And it just wasn't an easy road. And sometimes it was, again, challenging because, like I said, I had a young baby. So, yeah, for me, it was a bit rough for me just because she's like, you're the baby, I'm the parent. So, but with Faye, she wasn't, she was still the parent.
I just
okay for her to do it.
I just knew how to work around mom. So, I didn't try to emphasize on what wasn't happening or what was wrong or anything like that. I just know what needed to be done, and I just did it. I informed her of anything that I was doing or anything that needed to be done. Communication is a must. So for her, it wasn't easy to let go, but um, I remember when she was here with me, she would say to me, Faye, do you know what's going on? And I says, yes, mom, I know what's going on. And I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry. Okay. And when I said that, I felt that she was relieved. So it kind of helped her to let go because she knew that everything was going to be okay. I feel that she knows that everything was going to be okay because of the sympathy that I had, or the tone that I had, or me just talking her through and letting her know what's going to happen and what needs to be done. She saw that I was quite gentle with her, and so that made her give up, in the sense of the authority to manage, her. So yeah, it was hard, but once she understood that you understood, it was easier for her to give that over. So
Awesome. Thank you. So I think with the different dynamics with Faye and Natalie is that Faye had prior experience in how you interact with someone with dementia. So you're more like an expert in that area in how you approach it. And
right.
Natalie was like not experiencing that way, plus being a new mom and all of those dynamics. It's such a good thing that you both could collaborate together and make things happen. And
Yes.
I recall when I went with you to visit her in the place where she's at now, how your approach was so calm and serene and all of those things. And when she goes into another, you redirected her and she followed along. So like you just have that knack about you, and
Yeah.
that makes it work very well, and it's commendable. And I would admonish like families to just come together and use the strengths that each person have in making the work done, and
Yes.
not to use it as a competition. See, like you can do this, you can do that, and we make it happen together.
Right.
I could get my mom to do lots of stuff. Even when she was in the nursing home and I was feeding her, I'd bring porridge for her and she didn't want it and I'm giving her, and she said, that's all beat you. At that time, she wasn't even able to get out of bed and she was offering to feed me. So I just said, please, mom, don't do it. I could say, like, you can't beat me. Like, you'd hurt yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what do you do to maintain some balance, to not get burned out? What do you do to enhance what you're going through?
Well,
Well,
for me, I travel, I leave, I go away, I take myself out of this country. So I don't think about it. I go shopping, I go Buffalo, I go Niagara Falls. What? I go anywhere I can go. And for me, that's what eases my mind. I just get away, don't think about what's happening at home. Obviously, when I know she was at Faye's for the weekend or for the week, whatever it was, I know she's okay. So I don't have to be like, oh, I wonder if mom's getting good care. Like, you know what I mean? No matter where she went, which sibling it was, I didn't really have to worry about her. So for me, it was just traveling, taking myself away. Um, that's pretty much what I did. Because to be honest, like I didn't. There were stressful moments, but it wasn't something where I'm just like pulling the hairs out of my head or anything like that. Um, I think for me, if the moments were stressful, it was just because I'm dealing with two new situations at the same time and trying to balance the two situations. So it wasn't necessarily like dealing with her was such a bad experience, but trying to figure out how to be a mother and dealing with your mom situation at the same time and not knowing because with dementia is what she has or had um is you just never know what she's not going to remember. I had to, you have to remove all the knives so that she's not going to cut herself. I have to, I had to put up cameras because if she decided to go in the backyard, which is her safe haven because she was a natural gardener, um I just had to make sure she was in the backyard still, without having to physically go and see. So to me, my mom's situation wasn't necessarily like really strenuous, but when the situations do pose up upon me, then I'm kind of like, oh my god, Faye, you know, and then or I'd be like, I need to take myself away. So um that's pretty much what I had to do.
Okay.
So yes, there was a balance because of the fact that we had other siblings, right? So there's five of us. I know Courtney may be further away, but anything that mom needed, we would try to deal with it, and it would take all of us, um, not just me or Natalie or Lorraine or Ray or Courtney. So there was a balance because of the fact that all of us got involved. Thank you for the question. Yes, all of us were on one accord. At first, it was a little hard because some didn't recognize what was going on, and it the information was just to be given and shared so that they can be on the lookout to see for themselves. So it wasn't always the easiest, but once they were around her, and then recognize what was happening through the different signs and stuff, the information that was given to them, they were now able to be on the same. Um, we were being on one accord. So yes, her transition to the nursing home, um, they were on one accord, um, because of the fact that we knew that she needed the best care that she can get, the safest place for her to be. It was no longer like she was used to. She's lived at our home for a very,
Over 40
very long
years.
time. Like that, she, if you bring her in that community now, she'll tell you where to go. She'll tell you where to go. That's what she did the last time. She's like, go up that way. I'm like, oh yes, mom, okay. So she's been there for a long time, and she knew the whole neighborhood, the whole community where she was. She knew it in and out.
Yeah.
Saying like certain areas she knew. So
Yeah.
we weren't afraid of her like getting too lost, but at the same time we just wanted her to be safe, because you just never know when it's going to be, like when she can't recognize the areas anymore, right? So everybody was in agreement, yes, um, just because of the fact that um, they had the information that they needed to have to see that she really did need to be in that home, in the nursing home.
And Faye, what did
So
you have to do to take yourself away? What did you have to do to?
what did I have to do to
Yeah,
get her
because
into the home?
yeah, that was the question for you.
That's your question to me.
No, that was the question, but there was
Oh,
also another question. But it's they asked, what do you do to ease your mind away from what's happening?
honestly, for me, it's different because I love the elderly. I love children and I love elderly. I don't really care to get away from it because I love it. I love being around them. I don't have to say, oh man, it's too much. I have to get away or travel or do whatever. I can go there every day because I've been going there every day, and that's the atmosphere that I've been working in. So I don't really pull myself away from her and the situation. I don't. But I do what I have to do. My family is a great support, so I'll spend time with my family and church, and I'm occupied doing so much for the region and church. But yeah, I don't run away from the situation because I love the situation. I love the atmosphere that I'm in. I love being around mom. I love being around nursing homes and caring for them. So I don't have an issue with that. So that's my balance. My balance is being with her, actually. I feel I feel complete. I feel complete. I know it sounds weird, but I mean, when I'm there, I see what needs to be done, and I just keep myself busy and keep myself going. So I'm happy. That's a happy place for me. So for
Awesome,
other
thank
people,
you.
yeah.
So that question about if your mom know where she is now, it's not possible for her to know where she is because she has dementia. So when it comes to dementia, when one of the things we do as nurses when we go to see our patient, we check for three things: whether they know their name, know where they are, and know the time and day. So we would say if they're alert and oriented, times three to person, place, and time. Now, when a person isn't able to state all three, we reorientate them, or sometimes we just leave it alone, depends. So when she's gonna forget, even if today she knows, she says, yes, I'm in a nursing home. Before you move away from her, she's gonna say she's somewhere else. Okay. And even if, and it's for everyone who has dementia. And even if the place she's getting the best care, she might say, oh, they're doing this to me, or
Yeah.
this is happening, I didn't get any dinner, because her memory is not intact. So she won't know where she is for the most part.
Yeah. For the
That's
The
most
right.
part.
first week, I think around the first week or the second week, mom says, "Can I go back to my other home?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Can I go back to my other home?" And we all kind of was just like, "Oh God," like it kind of broke our heart because she obviously recognized that she was somewhere different, but she
Yeah.
wanted to go to her other home. So you're right. It comes, it goes, and yeah.
Yeah. She knows where, sometimes she does know where she is, and she'll make a little statement to say, oh, um can I go with you? Or you're leaving me now, like I don't want you to leave. Can I come? Like, am I able to come? And I say, okay, mom, one day I'll take you. And we do take her out and bring her back, but she knows, sometimes, depending on the state that she's in at the time, she'll know that she's not at her previous home. She'll know. Yeah. But she's coping. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you, Sophie and Sir Natalie, for being so transparent, and God bless you. God bless you. Now, where's Sister Melissa? Sister Melissa, the expert,
No, I'm not an expert.
the wonderful granddaughter. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you for deciding to join us and to accept this call. And I want you, and I just want the audience not to feel that this is boring, or although we're having this discussion, just tune into what information is being given, because it is very, very pertinent. Now, tell me how you became primary caregiver for your grandmother.
Okay, so my grandmother has 4 children, and one's local, one's about 3.5 hours away, one's in the United States, and one's in England. None of them wanted the responsibility, so it kind of just happened on to me. To be fair, I do have a unique set of skills where I specialize in children with special needs, but for the most part, her children didn't want the responsibility, so it fell into my lap, and I took it.
Awesome. Now, so she's still living kind of independently, right?
Okay, so yeah, so my grandmother is in the beginning stages of dementia, and right now she lives in a independent seniors residence. She is on a wait list for a nursing home, but she's independent, which means that they have nurses, PSWs, but she is mainly responsible for the comings and goings on her own.
Okay. So here, with that setting now, so what support system do you have in place to help you with being in this role as caregiver?
Okay, so I'm mostly doing this by myself, so it's very difficult because she's got her 4 children, and they're not helpful. They have relinquished their responsibility and have given me power of attorney. So I utilize other individuals who are going through the same thing I am, because whatever it is that I'm going through, individuals who have a loved one that has dementia are experiencing similar things. So I can speak to them about what I'm experiencing, what do they use, vent if I need to. My grandmother has a gerontologist, and I know I'm hearing that that's like unique, that a lot of people don't have a gerontologist. My grandmother's a gerontologist, and so I will phone, and when things are happening with her, I phone to just kind of get either feedback in terms of what to do about certain situations. The Alzheimer's Society, which is a website, they have articles, they have a community. I access that because, again, they have great articles, research, and there's also a dementia website that I use as my support system. So my grandmother, certain things happen with her, and I will use that to help make sort of her life a little easier in her residence.
Awesome. So as you jump into that part, tell us about the modifications that you have put in place to make sure that she's safe.
So if you walk into my grandmother's house, into her home, she has an apartment. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It has a storage room, bathroom, kitchen, living room, and bedroom. So there is green tape everywhere. So I have labeled everything, every cupboard, every dresser. So cupboards to tell her what's in there. It's labeled with whatever's in there, or dressers, whatever's in there. I have on the door for her that she comes and goes, right on the door as she leaves. It'll say things like, don't forget to put on your shoes. Make sure you have your keys, your wallet, your purse. The things that we take for granted, but my grandmother has left the house in slippers and gone downstairs because she's got footwear on, but doesn't realize she doesn't have shoes on. So I take sort of reminders everywhere. I have a camera in her apartment, not in her personal spaces, so not in the bathroom or the bedroom, but just because, again, she has gone out in the middle of the night and been locked out of her residence. So we have a camera so that I know when she's leaving. She's got railing in her shower. She's got a shower chair. Her clocks, she can no longer read analog clocks, so all of her clocks are digital. She's lost the process. So for her to tell time, everything is digital. There's no, yeah. You asked about all the modifications, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think that, oh, sorry. I've changed her remote control. So again, from the dementia store, simplified remote control that has like 4 buttons on it, so that her favorite 4 buttons, because we were having a difficult time with her and changing, being able to turn on and off the television. She's got a what I call is a dementia cell phone. So she's got a cell phone where I control it from my end, and it allows me to program who can call her and who can't, who she can call. So right now, again, she's losing the ability to read words, read letters. She can still read, but she's losing that ability. So visuals are most important. So on the phone, it'll show an individual's face along with their name, so that she can just push their face and it'll dial. And it also alleviates her. She answers a lot of these scammer calls. So she's called Tanzania, she's called Kazakhstan. I've gotten bills that are like ridiculous. So now we have a dementia phone that alleviates her calling anywhere outside of the local area and allows people to be able to call her. I have remote control access to her iPad, so that I allow her to be able to call people like her siblings in England through WhatsApp. So I can program it from my end here at my house. She can call from her apartment. And the last thing that I've gotten, so she gets delusions. And so she'll see individuals that I can't see. And she often calls and says, have I seen those? So what they've been experimenting with is robotic pets. So I bought her a robotic cat. And so it's realistic. It looks like a cat. It's got fur, it purrs, it rolls over for a pet, it meows. And I found that when she is with the cat, she actually talks to the cat because it's more tangible than in the delusions or her invisible friends. And that's sort of has limited the amount of delusions that she has.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. That's a lot, like, to be able to monitor her for her safety out while you're away. Pets and babies. Thank you, wedding guests. Okay, so caregiving, just as I asked others, can be rewarding, and it can also be stressful. What are some of the things that you do to create that balance as a caregiver?
Well, so I've created a boundary where I visit my grandmother, like one day is dedicated to her. So her shopping, her changing, because again, she's not in a nursing home. So doing the different cares, changing her bed sheets, laundry, grocery shopping, doing a little bit of tidying. I've created it so that I see her once a week, and that it's carved out amount of time that I spend with her. And so when I'm not doing that, then this is me just having like my time, me just enjoying the things that I like to do. So going out with friends, spa, etc. But it's just making sure that I'm not, because she again is not in a nursing home and she is living independently. Oftentimes she needs things that would require you to almost want to rush over there on a regular basis. And so I've had to carve out that, like, okay, her TV's not working. You're gonna have to wait till Saturday. Sorry, grandma, listen to the radio. And I know that might sound bad, but you'll end up burning yourself out for every, issue that, that she has, that I'd end up going over every single night to deal with. So my boundaries is that I have carved out, like, once a week to make sure that, I've taken care of all of her necessities.
Awesome. Thank you, Sister Melissa. So what I have noticed with all the guests is, like Sister Natalie said, like she travel. Sister Andrea and Sister Alethea, they go for walks. Faye have other outlets, like things that she do in church and all those things, and you do what you enjoy doing to create that balance. And it's very important as a people to recognize that we are not superhuman and we can get burnout, and self-care is very important. And if we are not okay, then we cannot take care of who we are taking care of. So we have to make sure that we are okay first before we are able to take care of our loved ones. And I just thank you for sharing with us and the audience tonight. If there's anyone that has questions, I didn't see any more being posted in the chat. We welcome your questions right now. Whether you're on the phone or on the Zoom video, you can go ahead and ask your questions. Thank you. Okay, so I know sometimes to unmute on the phone takes a bit, but yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good night. It's Sister Angela here. Thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing it. Even as a health care worker, when you work with your patients, because I used to work in long-term care, it's like you're doing your job. Yes, you're still, show empathy and kindness, but hearing it from you guys, like, it's more personalized. And I as Marlene said, I really commend you guys for doing it. And there was one common, I would say, denominator that I observed, listen to you, is that having the information to work with, that helps, and the resources, making use of the resources that's there. But commonly I can see where you guys had the knowledge and you share it. I think Faye said, I think some of the siblings did not understand what was going on, and once they understand, they were able to participate in making the decision. And that's the main thing. Knowledge, it's, and information is really good, and everybody could take away and said, once if you're in that space where you have to make a decision, get yourself, informed and work with it. So thanks, guys. That was what Melissa, I was here just saying, wow. Some of those stuff that you were saying, I didn't even know that they exist. But thanks for the information. Thanks.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for that input, Sister Angela. Sister Karen, your hand is up. Okay, Sister Sue, you can go ahead while Sister Karen coming after.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan. I'm Melissa's cousin from the United States of America. It's very fascinating, everything that I'm hearing. My mother is 90 years old. Of course, she's also Caribbean. I wasn't born here. I was born in England, but we migrated to the States. Now, she has not been diagnosed with dementia. When we speak with our doctor, her doctor rather, it is said that it's basically old age. Praise the Most High for that. But, it's always good to be informed. And so I have a question that perhaps you can answer, anybody can chime in. So myself and my sister, we're the one, well, let's put it this way. There are 8 of us siblings that are still alive. The majority of my siblings live in the UK. And I have a sister here in Detroit, because I'm living in Detroit, a suburb of Detroit. And then I have another sister in Florida. Now, Mommy loves to love Florida, and one can understand it's warm all of the time. And but what happens is that my little sister and we're here. My sister works online. I maintain 2 jobs, and I have my own personal business as well. So you may as well say I have 3 jobs. I'm really a Jamaican, aren't I? Anyway, so what happened is in the summer, she's here with me in in Detroit, and in the winter, she's with my sister in Florida. Now, my baby sister and we're there are 2 of us here, of course. So I work, and my sister will come here and to my home where Mommy prefers to stay, and she will sit with my mom and work until I get back home. And sometimes I'm not home until 9 o'clock. However, so my sister will be here from 7 o'clock in the morning until I get home. And then of course I have Mommy in the evening. The thing, and then with my sister in Florida, it's just basically her and her husband. They have no children. And so my sister has several businesses there. So, but she's very active in her church, and she, so sometimes what happened is that her church brethren, they're very well helpful, and she has a lot of professional people at her congregation that are very helpful. So here our services are online. So and myself and my mother, we attend different churches. So Mommy will be in one room and I'll be another. We're both listening to our churches. All right, so that's fine. But now there's an opening because of COVID. Now the church is back in person when she's here. And so it gives me a respite, because basically I'm with her in the morning and I'm with her in the night, throughout the night. Sometimes she does not sleep as well. And she's not on a lot of medication, they say. But I guess I said all of that so you get a visual picture. So there's sometimes when she's not in reality, so to speak. She's had an aneurysm that nearly burst, but bless the Most High, she was able to have a surgery and on that, and she's okay. But we were told that she can never be by herself, but she'd lived by herself for several years. And I said to Mommy, whenever you're ready to live with me, just let me know. And so for the past 4, 5 years she's been with me because she decided she wants to be with me, and that's fine. But here's my thing. I said all that to say that you have a visual picture, a mental picture. My essence is maintaining her independence as long as I can. Now I'm seeing that she doesn't feel like cooking, so I'm not going to rush her to cook. I'll have food, different selections of food in the refrigerator. And now I'm seeing that certain things that she may be forgetting, even the microwave, just to press the button and so forth. It's a new thing because she doesn't care for microwave. She prefers the stove, but I'm still very leery because several times pots been burnt and dropped on the floor. Thank God for alarm systems. But, and I don't mind cooking, but there comes a point where I don't want her to lose her independence. And so can somebody help me with this? Because one of the sisters I heard would say, oh, Dad, don't do that because this, that, and the other. I do that with my mom. And she tells me I make her feel like a 5-year-old. And I don't want to do that. And then she tells me she feels like she's disrespected. And there was a situation that happened that got me so nervous, I literally shook. She was putting on her shoes, and where she puts on her shoes is the door to exit, but also it's like a little stairway that leads to the basement. And she loses her balance a lot of times and refuses to use her cane or walker. So we have a cane, we have walker, and we have a wheelchair, and we're told that we have gotten the Cadillac of those features. She refuses to use them and does not want you to hold her or anything. So several times she's fallen, and of course it's the devil because she's saved. And so the situation is that I said, Mommy, I want you to put your shoes on in the kitchen where there's a chair. She refuses to do that. And she stands at the stairway, head facing down towards the basement, where if one mistake, she's down a flight of stairs. And I saw that visual picture and I just screamed at her. And she just stood there and continued putting her shoes on. And I had to really give her a lecture of what can happen. And of course, her being spiritual, the situation was that you're speaking it into existence. You know what I mean? Don't speak that into existence. And my thing is, I have to look beyond that. So the thought was, am I taking away her independence or her autonomy? So how far can I go? I hope I haven't taken up too much time in asking that question, but I really need an answer to that. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you for the details so we could understand where what your situation is. First and foremost, we have to understand that when we did the first segment, we did the aging process. Okay? We are aging. What we're able to do today, as times go by, we're not going to be able to do it because we're aging. Our bodies get old. Our brain cells don't replenish itself. So that's the reason for dementia. And we might have arthritis, you name the different things that can happen to our musculoskeletal system that will affect our balance, and different ailments like Parkinson and all those things that can affect our balance. It's not a sin, it's not the enemy, it's not the devil, it is part of a normal aging that will happen. I recall someone rebuking me when I talk about someone that had cancer, and I said, God is so good to this person that caused the person to live this long, because I've never heard of someone that end up with one cancer that being another one. So that means that it has metastasized and the person has lived for years. It's God. And I'm praising God for this. And I was rebuked, and I was told that when Jesus was on earth, he rose. He raised people from the dead. And I looked at that person and I said, so what happened to that person that was risen from the dead? Isn't that person dead now? So it's a reality that these things will happen. And we have to accept the change in our loved one. and the role change that now mommy used to take care of me, but I have to take care of mommy because now I am more stronger and she is getting weaker and her ability to do things are not as efficient. That's the reality of it. Getting her to understand is a different thing, but you just have to go step at a time. Get support system, as what Melissa mentioned about the different support system. Talk to someone else that's going through it. What have you done? What can I do? And just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It's not easy. There's no perfect answer for it. You just have to go step by step, speak with your family doctor and all that. Bolt the door to the basement if she's stubborn about that. Just make sure that it's not accessible any at all, unless you want to go there. Just think of so much different things that you can do to make her safe. Speak with someone else. Before I go to you, Sister Melissa, I think Margaret, okay, Melissa quickly, and then Margaret had her hand up.
Sorry, it was just a comment actually. It was just making me think. So when I think about what I do, when I'm considering my grandmother, I think of always three things: safety, security, and her health. And so those three things is what I put first and foremost, no matter what she wants. So she might say to me, well, I want to wear, you know, her, those who know my grandmother, her 6-inch stiletto heels. They're beautiful, they're pretty. She's a fashionista, and she dresses to the nine, but she's 88 years old. She can't wear these heels and they're dangerous to her. So I've had to take them away, even though, you know, she loves them. That's what she's worn. And does she dislike me for it? Yes. But for her safety, that she doesn't fall, she doesn't hurt her hip, that, right? I have to. So I know what she desires, but I also have to put what's in her best interest. You know, and so I say that to say that as seniors are getting older, you know, walkers and canes and so forth, they don't want to use those things because it does make it look like, you know, they're losing their independence. And I think so as we take away one thing, we have to put something back in its place. So if we're taking away, they need to feel independent, like I'm putting on my shoes, put a chair by the door for them to sit down on, or a stool or whatever, for them to sit down so that they can put on their shoes. So they're still doing things independently. So I just wanted to sort of comment.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. And we're gonna jump to Karen, you're back.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I was having phone troubles. Ladies, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time out and giving us the real deal. So especially Sister Mel, oh my God, you're doing the most. You are doing the most. Thank you. And I'm telling you, I was so happy when I didn't see Grandma in those heels anymore. You don't know how many heart attacks, near heart attacks I've had watching her just kind of tumble in those heels. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can worship in peace. Sister Faye, I know you're in the healthcare field, and it's hard when we are the sandwich generation. I can say that because I'm that sandwich generation. How do you separate work from home?
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. How do I separate work from home? It's kind of hard to separate work from home because I'm always doing and I'm always giving. Um, I just look at it differently. When I'm at work, I know that you go to work, you work to get money, to get income or whatever. With home, it's more that I do it for pleasure, right? How do I separate? I mean, I'm trying to like understand where you're coming from. If it's talking about the care for my mom, or you just talking about like actually dealing with my family, like
No, the care from caring for your loved one and caring
yeah.
for, you know, your paid loved ones there. But you're kind of seeing the two sets of people all the time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when mom's over, you're seeing work, but you're seeing mom, but you're really seeing mama, but you're seeing the job.
Yeah. So it's hard, but I don't look at it like that. I just do what I need to do. You know what I mean? Like whatever needs to be done. If I have to take care of her, if I have to do whatever for her safety, I just have to do it. I don't really. I'm not bothered by work and having a home life dealing with the same scenarios. I don't have an issue with that. I don't know, it might sound funny, but it's just because of because of my heart. Um, I just want to keep doing for people, and I just keep giving, and I'm not bothered by stretching. Some people will say, "Oh, it's too much." Like they're thinking about, oh, what they have to do at work, and then when they go home, they have to do the same thing. No, because when you go home, if you have a family, if you have a husband, if you have, your children or whatever, you still have to do. You still have to give. You still have to cook. You still have to care for them. So, I really like you. Just have fun doing what you do. Like, don't make it become a burden. For me, I don't make it a burden, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't try to look at it as, oh my gosh, like this is just too much work, or oh my god, I did here and then I have to do again here. I don't look at it like that. I just take care of myself and still include fun things. Like I still walk, I still, you know, travel, go places. I still do all of that. There's a balance, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to add to that, but yeah.
So
If
your outlook on it is more a positive one. So
Yeah, I don't have no negative feeling of what I do and how I do it, because I do it anyways, regardless if it's my mom, my husband, my kids, church people, family. I just take care of what needs to be taken care of. That's it.
awesome. Thank you. Where's Margaret? I think she had her hand up.
Oh, hi. I did actually. So I just wanted to say that I think all of you are doing an excellent job. And I know that God will definitely reward you for taking care. It's not an easy thing to take care of our elderly parents and grandparents. And so what you are doing is above and beyond. I know I've been there when my mother was around and I had to take care of her and she stayed with me for a while. So what you guys are doing is excellent, and just keep up the good work and so much information that you gave us. Just thinking, I spoke to my father just recently and I'm thinking that his time may be coming along. So I have to start thinking about what I'm going to do for him too. So thank you guys so much for all the information. You're really doing a great job. Thank you. And thank you, Sister Marilyn, and the group for putting this together. It really was good.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Myself, Sister Angela, Sister Karen, Sister Maxie, Sister Walters, Rosalind.
I had a question too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, and thanks to all the people who presented. The information was really, really very, very informative. And I had a question for at least two of the people who presented, for Sister Andrea and her sister, Sister Alicia. I was just wondering, how do you feel? How has your caregiving, you caring for your dad, how has it changed you, for the positive, for the better, or for the worse? And what inspired that question when I heard you talk about the tone that you have to take when you speak to your father and how you have to catch yourself, and just finding different ways of being when you're with your dad. I was wondering, how has it changed you? Sister Andrea or Sister Alicia?
I'm not sure if they have stepped away because
I am still here.
oh, there, no, she's here.
Okay, I'm not too sure who I'm speaking to, but
Mr. Judy.
Judy, how's it changed me?
Yeah.
It's made me really understand what it means to be patient and to catch yourself, because you can get a bit irate, frustrated. As you know, I work nights, so also being very tired can allow you to be a little bit sharp at times. So it's taught me patience and to try and be gentle. As my father always says, he spent 80 years doing it this way. So now to have to change is difficult. That's what I can say. I think my sister would agree too.
Okay. I was wondering for the Fraser sisters, how do they feel? I don't know. Well, I'm assuming that your mom doesn't recognize your time, because I know that's one of the symptoms of dementia, and I'm wondering if she's at that stage, and how does it feel when she doesn't recognize you guys?
Okay, so for me, when she does not recognize me, I don't let it bother me. I don't get sad about it. I just try to make her day. I try to I always introduce myself. I always say, "Hey, hi mom, this is Faye. I'm here to see you. I came to visit you, and I always um let her know that I'm there. I touch her, I kiss her, I hug her. These are things that she miss because obviously we're not in her presence as we used to be. But she, there's times that Lorraine and I were there with her, and she'll just call her name. She'll say, Faye, come here. Where you going? If I was gonna step out the room or whatever, and she'd do the same to Lorraine. So it's not, when she doesn't recognize us, we just have to understand that it's just that time. She just does not recognize us, and we don't take it personally, and we just continue with our conversation and try to sing to her and bring her into an atmosphere where she's that atmosphere that she knows.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't take it personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Sister Faith, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't take it personal either. And I think um each one of us have had moments when we're with mom that mom is asking for the other one. So it makes you still know that, oh, mom still remembers about us. So
Yeah.
we will be there and she'll be like, Natalie, where's Natalie? This, and she's going and same way as like, oh, bring this to Faye, so I think even if in the moment when we're there, she doesn't recognize us, we know through others, through our siblings, that she called out her name when the other one was there. You know what I mean? So that part brings the
joy,
yeah,
comfort, yeah.
Sister Faye said something that really touched me. You say when you said that when she asked you, Faye, do you know what's going on? That touched me so much, honestly, because what I was gathering was that she don't fully understand, but she took confidence in the fact that you knew what was going on. So that really touched my heart so much. It's like I don't fully understand what's going on, and she's imploring you. Do you understand? And when you told her yes, you understand, it gave us such assurance. I mean, to me, it was like, whoa, that's just trust and total surrender.
Yes.
Which is what we're to do where God is concerned. So when you said that, that touched me so, so deeply, and I just thank you for sharing that, because whether she understands a little bit of what's going on or or she doesn't understand at all, she's totally trusting you. And that was just amazing when you shared that. So thank you very much. That was something that I took away in a profound way. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's one of the things. They want to know that that you're okay, right? When you have anger or you show frustration or you snap or you yell or scream, that's not benefiting them. That's not benefiting yourself. So it doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense doing it because they're trying to adjust to how they're feeling as well, right? And sometimes pride or whatever gets in the way, and they're like, okay, I don't want them to know that this is how, I'm feeling or what's going on. So, and it's not for you to push it in their face either, right? Because you don't want nobody to show you or tell you about your flaws or whatever, right? So the best thing to do is just cope with it, adjust yourself for safety reasons. If you feel that, you need to adjust your home, adjust your home. It's not going to look the prettiest. It doesn't matter. Nobody has to come to your house and say, oh, why is that there or why is that there? No, if a chair needs to go by the door, put it by the door, right? Because if you know that your loved one is going to, fall or hurt themselves, whatever you need to do, adjust your home, not for style, not for like, just like what you would have to do for a young kid, right? You put the plug covers in the wall, you put door knobs, the protective things on the door knobs so that they can't turn the knobs to get out. You do what you need to do. Even if the cupboards, if they're going in the cupboards and moving stuff around, there's things that you can buy and purchase and put over, for your own purposes, right? Do what you need to do to care for them. If it's a gate, even for your loved one, buy a gate. You're going to have to spend some money to adjust your home, but buy a gate so that they don't fall or that they have that safety. If they say, why is this gate there? Say, oh, I needed it. Don't tell them why you're putting it there.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, it's for you because I don't want you to fall. No, don't tell them those stuff. They don't want to hear it. Even though they're asking, they don't want to hear that you're adjusting your home for them. So just make them feel comfortable. Let them be at ease, get whatever equipments or, stuff that you need to assist them the best way, and everything will be okay. Don't push it in their face, and you don't have to explain everything. Say, don't worry about it, mom, I'll take care of it. Or don't worry about it, dad, I'll take care of it. And you adjust and you fix and you change and you do what you need to do to make sure that your loved one is good. That's all
I actually found it
Thank you.
interesting that when Melissa stated some of the stuff that she's done, because I was thinking, oh my God, I did that too. You know what I mean? Like even putting a sticker where the garbage is for her to open the right cupboard. I had to put on child locks on the cupboards because things started to move around and then I wasn't able to find it. So because I lived with my mom, things were a little bit different because I had to adjust for myself and for her. So but you have to do what you, like Faye said, you have to do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do to make her safe, because my mom liked to go outside. She loved outside. And sometimes I'm at work and I'm saying, oh my God, mom's going through the door. Oh my God, mom's, but you have to make the necessary adjustments to make sure she's safe. So yeah.
Thank you guys. Sister Michelle, I think you wanted to say something and then I'll hand over.
Thanks. Yeah, it went back to when
Can I ask a question?
Karen's question to Sister Faye, and I just wanted to add to, in my opinion, I think as well, Sister Faye, I can see that she has a family, an immediate family, her husband, her children, who are very, supportive. And I think that's also such an amazing forum where, it doesn't become so challenging to sort of balance home and work, if you will. And so when even, not to say that you have to have a husband for that to happen, but that, is a great source of support when you have that system at home.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, you have to talk to your children and your loved one, spouse, or whoever is living in the home, and let them understand what's going on and adjust, and let them know this is what's gonna happen. So they need to be okay with it and they need to help. So this is just teaching them how to deal with me when I get to that age if I do need assistance too. So you have to pass on the baton. and let them know, like, I'm not gonna hide this from my family. Everybody has to get involved, and that's what we do as a family. Everybody's involved, and everybody understands, and it's a good thing that we love our loved one, you know. So if it was a thing that there was, other things that we had to deal with, then it would be a little bit different. But we all have that love for mom, and we're gonna do what we have to do. You know.
Thank you,
One,
thank you.
one more question.
Yeah, go ahead. So,
My first question will be to the Ellises. And let me first say thank you, ladies, so much for coming on and sharing, I would say, your heart's hidden secrets. Now, this is one thing we hear about Alzheimer's. We see it on the TV and it's out there. But this is a part of us. This is our own people. So to me, it has a different impact. These are people that we know and we can see the changes, and so it has a different impact. So my first question is to the Ellises. Sister Alethea, listening to all that you guys have done and are doing, does the thought of having your dad in a long care home ever crosses your mind?
Not really. We know it might have to be, and we'll have no choice. But our aim is to keep him out of there as long as possible. If so, then we have no other choice. But that's our first option, is that he stay home as long as he can. And then if he has to go to a home, that he's high on the waiting list so he can get into one, from what I'm to understand.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
this is all.
To the
Sorry.
Frasers, and I listened to the two sisters, and I'm listening to Sister Natalie talking about the two changes that she was experiencing and how she had to deal with it. And I'm listening to Sister Faye. And you know what, Sister Natalie, I'm wondering if because Sister Faye was her favorite, why it became so easy. What do you think?
If I feel that Faye was mom's favorite?
Right.
Oh, I don't. We were funny enough. We were having this discussion because I was with Faye and I was saying to her that, "Oh, Faye, I think you have a favorite child," and her kids were saying the same thing. And then we went further to say, like it's just like mom. It's not to. I don't. People sometimes don't want to call it favorite, but your heart sometimes go out more to one child than the other. I think for Faye is really like my mom, which we all tend to have gotten some parts of her, but my mom was very given and very like she would have gave everything without even thinking about it. And I find with Faye, she's the same way. She's always given without thinking, oh, that's my last dollar, but you know what? So and so needs it, so here. So I think maybe my mom recognizes
the connection.
So and I think as a lot of people have said, is it does go to the approach. I'm a little bit more aggressive. So I might be like, come on, mom, let's go. It's time to go to take a shower. Where Faye will be like, Mom, no, you this, you that. And I don't have the time to be like, ooh, la, la, la. I'm just like, come on, you haven't eaten from morning, let's go. So I think definitely the approach makes a huge difference. And I could see it because like I said, Faye could come at 2 a.m. and I could be telling mom, it's time to go to bed. She's not going to bed. Faye comes 2 a.m. because I'm just like, Faye, could you please come and help? And that's the time, she could get there because it's late, right? And she's like, okay, mom, we're gonna change your clothes. I'm gonna give you a massage. This massage thing got her. Even now, Faye's like, come on, mom, you want a massage at the nursing home? And she gets her into the shower. The nurses can't get her into the shower. Faye could go there and it's like, okay, mom, I'm gonna give you a massage today, but we're gonna go and take a shower. And she's like, okay, all right. Well, so I don't want to call it favorite because people get offended, but I think she has a special place for her.
No, Lorene is her favorite. Lorene is her favorite.
I guess somebody's gonna say something like that. But, just listening to you guys and just Sister Faye's way. And so tell me, does she always get massage or just a
I always give her a massage.
Does.
I always after her showers, I give her a nice rub because sometimes it's hard to lift up the hand or whatever. It's not easy to put on the clothes or whatever. So I get the A5 and I rub her down and I say, you like that? She's like, yes. So you have to cater to them to what they want, just give it to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like don't make it a fuss. Sometimes you're tired or whatever too, but just work, the best that you can with them. And sometimes you don't even have to give talk. You don't even have to talk. Sometimes people feel that they have to say everything all the time or they have to give an answer all the time. You don't need to give an answer all the time. Sometimes things are happening and they're, you understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me be, and they get frustrated too. But sometimes you don't have to say something like, but you did this or you did that. No, just leave it, let it be, and then make it safe. Just make sure that they're safe.
And I think Sister Marilyn is one says, because you does this as a profession, the professional part of you comes out. And so it's like you know what to do and it becomes natural. So I want to say thank you. It's your mom, but thank you. And I am, like you guys says, she love her gardening, but thank God for technology. And that, another question I have was, so Sister Faye, you said that the family, you had to more like convince the families that this is what is happening. How did you how you felt when you realized that this is really happening? How did you guys feel?
Well, for example, like mom used to drive all the time. And when she got into an accident one time just going down her street, I was like, yeah, how is this possible? You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't just, like, something had to happen in order and it was her fault, right? So you analyze the situation. You just have to analyze and you have to, whatever the situation is, you analyze it and say, okay, is this normal? Is this something that should be happening? And then you should basically be able to have a response, like a clear understanding as to if it's normal or if it's not normal or something is off or whatever, right? If somebody's having a bad day, you'll know if they're having a bad day, right? But when there was things happening, whether she was forgetting to do things or she was, well, she never really cook, and I don't know if she really cook and burn up stuff like in the early part, but like if it is a thing that your loved one is cooking and they're not remembering to turn off the stove, then you have to adjust. You have to see that that's what the case is, right? That they just couldn't remember that it was on. and then you have to adjust. If you talk to them and you say, okay, this is what happened, and they're like, no, it didn't, then you know that's you, like, it's not something to argue, right? But you now have to make an adjustment and say, okay, well, this is, it happened once. If it happens again, then I definitely have to plug out the stove, right? Because me telling you what you're doing, you're not recognizing, and I can't explain to you enough for you to understand that this is not what's supposed to happen. So in order to be safe, just make the adjustment. And if you have to, you know, plug out, or, you know, you do what you have to do to make sure that, you know, they're okay and the house don't burn down, or they don't get hurt, or you don't get hurt. So yeah.
I think as well, sorry to not to cut you, Faye. I think because I was a new mom, and I'm here living with mom, and in facing certain kind of difficulties that I had with mom, explaining it to my siblings, I think they started to realize, okay, maybe this is too much for Natalie, and Natalie's at home. The next question would be, am I able to take mom at my house? And for some, they're not able to take mom full time. And then the next question is, okay, then is there a support system outside? Now, the thing with dementia is a lot of the resources is not really gauged to like it's more it's more for people with disabilities, in the sense like physical disabilities, than more like for my mom. They're like, does she need to be fed? No, she could feed herself at the time. Does she need to be bathed? Yes, possibly. Sorry, Naya, stop. But she will not allow somebody she doesn't know to bathe her, so it has to be somebody that she knows. So with all these kind of things happening, you then have to come to the realization, okay, maybe it is now time for us to move mom to the home. Because I think that's kind of where your question was, like, you know, like, when do we realize it's time to now, okay, say, for everybody to come together and agree that it's now time for mom to go into a home. It may not be, some was just not like, okay, let's do it. No, we had to show, okay, Natalie has a child, you know, Natalie is still trying to figure things out. Are you guys going to take her home? No. Okay, so then what's the next option? The next option is we maybe need to put mom into a home, because if Natalie can't do this anymore, then who is gonna do it? Do you understand what I mean? So I think
you'll see the signs, you'll see certain things happen, and you'll just have to know, can I deal with it, or do I need help dealing with it? So that's pretty much, you know, it. When we start seeing stuff that she needed more help, then we had to just figure out, can we do it for her, or are we gonna need help, you know, getting this done? So
Ladies, thank you so very much.
Michelle. Sorry, are you finished, Sister Hall?
I'm not finished. I'm saying thank you. I'm saying thank you to the ladies, and to Sister Melissa. Thank you so much. And the thought that came to my mind is, boy, we're gonna be missing Mother Gordon soon then, because you're saying she's on a waiting list, and you know, she got herself locked out and all of that. Those are the things that we do not want. So, you know, ladies, thank you so much for coming on. And we will just continue to lift up the families in prayer, and that the Lord will just strengthen you all as you, you know, do this part of the journey, taking care of your loved ones. And as they did for you, then you're returning the favor. The Lord strengthen you and bless you. Thank you so much. God bless.
May I say something?
Yes, go ahead. Thank you, Sister Hall.
Sorry, I'm going to maybe say something that might sound, I'm not going to use the word negative, but one thing I want to say is, if we can try to remember as a people, so just everybody in general, to be tender and be careful not to mimic or joke about
things like walkers, like canes, like things like that. Oh, you need a cane. Oh, what you doing with a cane? Those kind of things, because you don't know how much you hurt. And I know as a people, we can be quite proud. So when we should be using the thing, we're not using it because somebody has mimicked you, somebody has said something to you that, you know, you feel away, like you feel, oh my gosh, I've got a cane, I've got a walker. So they don't even want to come out, they don't want to be around because they're thinking people are mimicking them. So one thing I want people to realize in general is to be just careful. Tender, don't laugh, don't make a joke out of things. Even if you don't understand it, just be, you know, if you don't know, come and ask, but don't just be mean.
Be sensitive.
Amen. Thank you. That's a key thing I want to say for the seniors. We have a lot of seniors in our church, and every one of them is important, whether they're your father or your mother, they're important.
Thank you for that, Sister Alita. Sister Michelle is bursting at the seam.
I am. And I just, oh, this is really so good. Thank you. And what came to me while Sister Hall was asking those questions was just to ask even for Sister Faye, because I mean, there's a lot of, and this is generalizing, but I know even in our community, you know, there's a lot of sort of negative connotation to people going in a nursing home. Like, why are you putting your mom in a nursing home, you know, or your dad, or whatever the case may be? But I just wanted to find out from you, even as a family, like, did you feel that, you know, that vibe? And you know, hopefully, I'm sure you've probably gone past it, but did you experience any of that vibe?
Okay, so if I experience the vibe of why we're putting mom in the home, or yes, because you know, Sister Fraser lived where she lived all her life, and that's where she should be, right? So yeah, we did get that vibe as to why somebody is not able to take care of her. But for mom, we had to, because of the fact that when you're looking at a loved one, there's different behaviors that you have to deal with, right? Um, if it was a thing that mom had issues walking and my home had a lot of stairs, it's not going to help. And my space was very small where I couldn't even put her on the first floor. I would have to adjust, right? Um, it was an issue. It was a thing with mom where there was certain behaviors that were taking place that we had to. It was for her safety that we put her into a closed area, like an area, you know, that she's in just a space for herself, right? So it was hard because we really didn't want to. We tried to have her in different homes. Lorene tried, I tried, um, but it was around COVID, you know, when everything happened, and it was really, really hard because she's not used to the mask and used to all these different things, you know. So, you know, it wasn't the easiest. You know, she did not like vaccines and all these stuff. So, you know, just getting her into a home and knowing that she's going to have to adjust to that system, you know, a lot of people had a lot of things to say, and it wasn't helping because they weren't in a situation to take her either. So, you know, we just had to do what we had to do, and it, yeah, whatever was going to be said, it's going to be said whether you do it or not. So we just had to make up in our mind that this is what we need to do and just get it done. So we appreciate, you know, those that actually now see the adjustment and take the time to actually visit it and let her, you know that you're around, because she do ask. Church is mom's life. All, you know, all of her life is church, so she's always asking about everybody. Who sometimes names come up and I'm like, okay. You remember her? Oh, you remember him? Oh, yes, mom, they're all right, you know. And I try to update her on, you know, I'm not at Covenant right now, but I try to let her know that everybody's good, you know, and I try to inform her as to what's happening outside, if anybody passed or anything like that. I try to keep her up to date. She might not remember, but you do what you have to do. And yeah, it wasn't the easiest. And yeah, people are going to say what they have to say, but you just have to do what you have to do. God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Faye. Thank you for those questions, Sister Hall, Sister Michelle. We're half an hour beyond the time that we're supposed to go till, and I'm going to be handing over to Sister Michelle soon. I was looking through the aging population as it relates to church, and I was talking to one of my friends from my home church in Jamaica, and the aging population that I'm experiencing at COP, I never experienced in Jamaica, because those mothers at the time were active and all that when I left there. So they developed dementia and passed on after I left. So I didn't have that interaction with them during those stages. Here at COP, and I'm seeing so many. And I'm telling you, like, although I know being in the healthcare field, I do get emotional when I see, and then if I hear of another one, I say, oh gosh, not another one, no, God. And still I know that this is the journey that will happen, that when you're getting older and older, your brain will not function the same way. I am glad that Sister Alita mentioned about people joking when it comes to certain mobility aid and certain challenges, health challenges that people might have. And from this platform, I hope that we can trickle down to everyone, that we know that this is very serious. It's not a joke. I usually tell people when they go in a wheelchair and they're pushing themselves, and I say, don't do that, because you don't really want that to happen. So let us be sensitive. Let us be self-aware. Let's not make others put a guilt trip and telling people, oh, you should put your mother into a nursing home or your father into a nursing home or whatever. How dare you do that? If you're not in their situation, you leave it alone. With me coming from where I was criticized for sending my children to Jamaica, when I had so much things going on that no one knew what was going on, it's either sending them there or don't have them, and no one who was criticizing me would come and say, I'll help you. Being criticized for going to Nunavut or Northern Manitoba to work, I know a lot of people are doing it. It's something that I think people should ask questions. Why? How are you feeling, about it? Or just leave it alone. It's none of your business, for real. So let us be sensitive. Let us be tolerant. Let us be loving. Let us show kindness, because what someone else is doing now that you're against, you might have to be doing it later on down the line, and come to that person and say, give me some resources. Now I'm faced with this situation that you're going through. So I'm glad for this opportunity where Sister Faye, Sister Natalie, Sister Andrea, and Sister Alitia, and Sister Melissa are so vocal and transparent and vulnerable in sharing with this audience your journey, and that they can be strengthened. And remember, first and foremost, aging is not the plan of the devil, okay? Aging is a normal thing that happens to us. And we just have to go. God is still God regardless. But though he slay me, yet will I trust him. So we just have to serve God regardless. Pastor Jones asked me to do the announcement, and I want to do it quickly, then hand over to Sister Michelle. Church of God in Ontario Family Life Ministry presents Mental Health and the Family. This is happening on December the 3rd. This is Sunday at 7 p.m. And on Zoom, it's 814-3075-5311. I'm gonna say that again. 814-3075-5311. And the passcode is 791920. This is another area that's touching the church that we are in denial about when it comes to mental health and mental wellness. So it's important that if you could join, let you know that knowledge is power. God bless you. God bless you. Sister Michelle, it's off to you. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, this has just been so amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know Sister Marilyn has already called the names of all the presenters this evening. Ladies, I am very grateful. I'm laughing because when we logged on earlier, Sister Fee, you asked, how long is this? And I said, and then you said, well, that's beyond 2 hours. And I said, well, it depends on the conversation. And as you can see, the conversation was very, very vital. It's information. I could be here all night, and I'm sure others on the line could too. We've had steady 41, 42 people, 43 people, and nobody has left, right? So you can tell it's of interest. I'm really grateful that you were so open and being just your, open to us to share your stories. It does make a difference. Thank you so much. We don't know until we walk in someone else's shoe, right? And so it's not up to us to judge, but up to us to be each other's keeper, if you will. And I'm just so grateful that you are doing your part to care for your loved ones at this time. And that's what we're called to do. We each have a time. And so as Sister Hall and Sister Marilyn has said, the Lord strengthen you. The Lord does. I pray that the Lord will strengthen you all. And as you, as siblings, continue to work together to do the best that you can to support Mom, similar, Sister Melissa with Grandma, Sister Alethea and Sister Andrea with Dad, that's our duty. And of course, here as a body, as a church, we are here as well to support you. We may not always, tell you we love you, we care for you. And so please know that, that we do. And we're here to support you however we can. I'm gonna actually ask my First Lady to have final words and close off in prayer, but I would just like to share these announcements before I hand over to her. And we do have a few regional reminders, ladies. It is a women's session, so it would be remiss of me not to remind us that our regional 33rd Women's Conference is coming up on March the 22nd to the 25th. In Niagara Falls, Ontario. That's an annual. And so reminder that our first deposit of $150 is due on January the 8th. If you desire to be participating in this event, please reach out to myself as I will be coordinating our church's attendance. So please connect and we can begin to get our registrations in. And of course, the final balance is due by March the 4th. There are flyers all over the building and in the chat, so please reach out if you don't have the information at hand, and we can definitely share that widely. In addition, the Women's Ministry, our Christmas Mingle, and that's another regional event, is happening on Tuesday, December the 5th at 7:30 p.m. and it is a Zoom link. The meeting ID is 810-0284-3170. And of course, we can share that again. I know that was fastly said, but we share that widely as we need to be. Ladies, we will not be having, as you know, it's already December the 1st, and we won't be able to meet for our Christmas fellowship, but that's okay. We're just gonna move it over into January. And so please look forward to more for your invitation for our January fellowship in person, where we will be having our Christmas gathering, little delayed, but we thought it was important to hold on to this meeting because this would have been sort of our time when we get together for Christmas, but we didn't want to stretch out and not miss tonight to finalize. And it was indeed a grand finale. So thank you again, ladies, for all that you do. Tomorrow morning, the Lord tarries, we will be having our fasting service. So please remember to log in. Food drive, ladies, Christmas food drive, it's on. So we're asking to remember to bring in a non-perishable item. We're also asking for a difference, if you can, with cash donations and or a grocery store gift card. so that we can give recipients more flexibility in whatever they choose to support, if and when we're handing out. So please remember that this, our food drive, Christmas food drive is on, it's open, and the box is in the fellowship hall for your drop. All right, so thank you, Sister Hall, over to you.
Thank you once again, Sister Michelle. And I just want to say thank you, ladies, again I want to say thank you to the nurses, to Sister Marling and the other nurses who have been working throughout the year, I would say, until December the 1st. Thank you so much for your efforts, your coordination, and really giving back. You are really giving back into your community in more ways than one. And with all the seminars that we have had, marriages, cancer, caring for the elders, brain health, you name it, you have given back into your community, because we are in a world and in a world right now where we are seeing that knowledge is so powerful, and we are realizing, and I hope a lot of us, I hope you're realizing that if you don't know, no one cares to inform you, especially you people of color. And if you don't ask, they won't tell you anything. But the more question you ask, the more help you tend to get. So ladies, I want to thank you so very much. And for our special guest this evening, thank you so very much for, like I said earlier, bearing of your soul, of your, putting aside and just sharing from your heart and helping us to understand. And like I said, it's to me, when, like I said earlier, it's out there and it's out there, it's somebody's mother out there, it's somebody that we don't know. And thinking Bowmanville, I think this past week there was a body that was found in some bushes, and I think it's in a residential area, something like that. And the first thing I said to Pastor, I said, I wonder if it is a person with dementia. All the time people get lost, and you don't hear anything, and that sort of thing. And sometimes a body is surfaced, sometimes we don't hear the end result. And so we are very conscious of those things. And so this is your family is our family. This is our family. You want to say this is COP family. Like Sister Marilyn says, we grew up, we come to know some of these people, love these people, we are one family. And so to see these changes, I buried one sister, and I remember her last visit here. My niece was visiting from England also, and I remember she asking some questions more than once. And under my breath, I said to my niece, she's asking the same question. And she didn't stay very long here with me. And so when I look back, and of course, that was a part of her illness before she died. And so I look back into that many, many times and said, only if I knew what was happening then, how I would go about it, if I'd recognized what was happening. So the only thing I recognized was she was asking the same question over or twice, more than once, which is unusual. So when you speak tonight, everything hits home. And it's a reality that we see today, we don't see tomorrow. And so, like I said, we can only pray your strength that the Lord will strengthen you as you do what you do. God is a good God, and He will strengthen you as you do what you're doing, and your reward is sure. I am going to ask everyone in line at this time, if you would unmute, let us do a congregational prayer. Pray for the families, that God will strengthen them. Pray for their aging parents, that the Lord will continue to touch them and be a shield unto them as we continue, as we go on from here. Thank you so much. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, in Jesus' name, we thank you, Lord.
Jesus.
We thank you, Lord, for your
Lord, we
goodness.
praise
Our
you.
Redeemer and our Savior, mighty God, as we come to you,
Lord, we
Lord God,
honor you
before you,
tonight.
know that you are the God, the great I
Lord, we
am.
thank you.
Lord, we
Father, as we're
exalt
here, mighty
you.
God, collectively,
Thank
Lord
you
God,
tonight,
in one
God.
accord.
Give you
That
glory.
Father, we
you are an
pray, Lord God,
amazing
for all the
God. We
speakers
thank
tonight,
you
mighty
tonight.
Thank
God.
you, Lord,
And we
that you
You
are
pray and
are
we
our
thank you,
heavenly
Father,
Father.
Lord God
You
Almighty,
are
for
our
taking, Lord
Lord,
everlasting
God,
you
to
are the
Father.
share their
God who
experiences,
created
Almighty
us.
God.
You are the
You are the
one,
Creator.
Blessing
You
to
are
Almighty,
the
us in the name
who
of
Savior. You
Jesus
knows
are the
Christ
all
right
great
now.
about
God.
us.
Father,
You
we
are
pray,
the
Lord
I
God,
am.
that you
Lord,
would
you are
touch
And
each
I
thank
pray
you.
individual, mighty
tonight,
God,
You
each
God,
want to
families, Lord God
that
Almighty,
God,
and you
you
will
will
for
strengthen them, Almighty
remember
God,
Jesus,
through
our
this
oh God,
challenging
to
and this
be
our
difficult
the
time.
families
Because, Lord
God
God
in
Almighty,
the name of
we know
Jesus
it's
forward,
not
Christ
by
of
their strength
Nazareth.
or
mighty
by
Pray
their
that
might,
God.
but
you
it's by
will
your Holy
Oh
Spirit.
remember
God,
them.
Father, we
be
Pray
pray,
that
Lord
you
God, that
will
you
be
undergird them,
around
Lord
them.
God,
Pray that
and
you
that
will
together,
touch
mighty
them.
God, as a
Pray
unit,
God
tonight that
going
you
on.
will
make
hide
all the
them under the
decisions, Almighty
blood.
God, and the
Lord,
changes
we
Pray
that
do not
occur,
tonight
mighty
for
know
God,
every
and
mighty
while
family
they're on
member,
their
what
our
path.
tomorrow
But
prophet,
Father, we
holds.
know,
the
Lord God, as
But
they
elders,
look to you,
Lord, we
mighty
know
God,
that
Faith,
because you are
you
their helper.
hold
Melissa.
You are their
on
In the
deliverer,
name
mighty
of
God. You are their
Jesus Christ
redeemer,
and
of
you
Lord
hold
Jesus
Nazareth,
Christ
our
God,
of
I
life
Nazareth.
pray.
in
And I
your
Remember
know,
hand.
Almighty
Charlene,
God, that you
Sibyl,
will,
And
mighty
Father,
God,
in the
Lord,
name of
keep them,
tonight,
Jesus.
mighty God, in the
God,
God,
I
palm
pray
of your
that you
hand.
will
Father,
undergird
we
them.
thank you,
I
Lord
pray
God,
that
that
you
they
will
came
God,
out, mighty
strengthen
God,
them.
and they were
continue,
God, I
vulnerable,
God,
pray
Lord
tonight,
God,
Father,
and
that
they
you will
shared
them,
touch
eternal
Almighty
Father.
and
God.
And Lord God
heal.
One,
Almighty,
There will be an
it's not
God,
hiding
everybody can
place
attest to
for each and
themselves,
every
but mighty
one of
God, it's
us.
gonna
Lord
bless
God,
them
Lord,
even the
touch
I
waking of us,
Mother
ask
Almighty
and
God.
I
Rosalind,
And
pray
those that need to
Heavenly
hear
and
this,
bless.
Father.
bring forth, Lord
God,
God,
Oh
I pray
to
God,
them,
tonight,
mighty God,
God,
those who
for
know
Lord
something
God,
at
you
this
Sister
know
point.
all
Patience,
about
Father,
Sister
I
us.
thank you,
Fraser.
Almighty
I
You
God,
pray,
God,
that
the
they,
Lord
Lord
God,
God
God,
who
that
that
you
they
will
shared,
created
touch
mighty
us.
them.
God, in your
I pray,
presence.
Father God,
Father,
that
I
you
pray,
So
will
Lord God, that
touch
you
her.
would
Lord,
continue
I
to
pray
fill
you
them
will
up, mighty
Father
God,
undergird her
continue
Almighty,
to
under the
undergird them,
precious
shield
give
them,
us
blood.
protect them, Lord
knowledge,
God.
God,
God,
she's
Every
been
to
promise of
lost
be
Paul, Lord
here.
God.
like
And so
Be
you,
there
tonight
with
I
her
God
lungs,
pray
mighty
Almighty.
God, if
you
they
will
need,
just
Oh
or
God,
mighty
heal
when
God, if
there's
they need
her,
to
darkness
hope,
a
or their
and
shield
mighty
darkness
God,
and
of
a
the
over
family.
our
buckler.
life,
Father,
I
I pray,
pray
Lord
mighty
God,
tonight
God,
in the
what
name
is
of
going
that
Jesus
you
on,
Christ
continue to
of
give
Nazareth.
but
understanding, mighty God,
tonight,
God,
their
that you
patience,
will
their
build
willing
and
to,
have
God,
I pray
their
for
Lord,
Sister
understanding, Lord
touch
God,
Helena.
on how to
our
deal with
heart,
every
Lord, for
situation,
heal us.
mighty
Kisha.
God,
I pray
Help
and
for
to
us,
exert
everybody
Lord,
every
healing
resources that is
when
needed in the
Spirit
name
of the
of
you
Jesus
living
Christ
need,
of
God.
Nazareth.
mighty
Tonight,
Father, you
Father,
say
God,
you not give us more than we
Lord
can bear, mighty God, and I
Almighty,
believe, Lord God Almighty,
oh
whatever
God,
we
rest
need, mighty
oh
and
God,
God,
dwell
you
that
will,
you
mighty
will
God, keep in the
for
name of
our
Jesus.
grant
healing.
Father, we
In
thank you,
the
Lord God, God,
name
as we
of
continue to
Jesus
pray
for
for,
Christ of
mighty
all of
God, even
our
Nazareth.
each person on
needs,
this
Lord
line
God,
tonight,
I
mighty
pray
oh
for
God,
God,
your
because you
minister
said,
for
God.
my people are
keeping
You
us,
lacking
said,
Lord
one
God,
God,
thing
as
because of
we
lack of
each
knowledge.
engage,
day.
And
Lord, you
Father, we
said
know,
in your
Lord,
mighty God,
word,
where there's
God,
oh
that
knowledge,
we
God,
mighty
will
God, and
hold
truth,
when
mighty God, we're in a
together.
better place
Lord
oh
to
God,
learn,
God,
in the
become
name of
a
that we
Jesus
will
Christ,
strength,
so we
walk
continue to bless
Almighty
together.
families,
God.
Almighty
God,
God.
for
I
Oh, the
thank you, Lord
siblings
God
things
and
that
Almighty,
we
that you
nephews
continue
and
to
need,
have
so
your way
Father, I
in their
pray,
lives,
Father
mighty
God,
Lord,
God,
you
that
will
you
with
bless
each and every
them.
know,
one of
God,
them,
you
Lord
will
God
Jesus,
Almighty.
bless
You
them.
surely
hallelujah.
know, Lord
are the
Oh
good
God, we
caretakers.
are impacted
You
each one of their lives in
take
a
care of us.
mighty way,
Lord,
Lord
I
God.
thank you.
Transform them in a
Lord,
way that
I
they could never
praise you.
believe.
Lord,
But
I
Lord God,
bless
we
you.
know that you do not
Lord,
fail.
I
And Lord
honor
God, you
you.
say that
Lord,
I will be
Lord, I
be with them tonight,
Lord,
mighty
Lord,
God, in
take
their
over
homes,
this
Lord God, wherever they're
we
located.
ask
In
you
the name of Jesus Christ. Because they can do all things through you who gives them the strength. In the name of Jesus
God
Christ of
Almighty,
Nazareth.
I
God, we
thank
thank
you
you as we
power
worship
and
before you
hallelujah.
today.
Lord, we want to heal. Oh Lord God, for Sister
My God, we simply
Lord God,
thank
who
you
have
to
started.
love
Thank you
them,
for the
Almighty
listeners online.
God.
God, we
Oh
thank
God,
you for
tonight
God, and we
you are
praise you.
God. You
And we
see and you
bless you
know
because of
each
your
and
heart.
every one of us, God. And you know,
God,
Lord,
you
what is
word,
going
you
to
strengthen,
happen. Oh
you
God,
want to
to
heal,
us in the
walk with
future.
fighting
Lord,
for
our
us.
future are in your
And we
hands. Our lives are in
Lord,
your
we
hands,
thank you for
Almighty
tonight.
God. So
Lord, under your
tonight, oh
protection,
God, I ask in the name of Jesus that you will keep us and you will guide us, Lord, from day to day. We give you thanks for each and every one tonight. Lord, we give you praise and glory and honor.
In Jesus' name, hallelujah,
Name.
Jesus. Thank you.
Praise God.
God, praise God. Thank you so much, my brethren, Thank you so much and have a good night. Sister Michelle, I'll hand back to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Praise God. Thank you, Sister Hall. Appreciate you. Thank you. I just wanted to share some information. Thank you, Sister Karen, for placing that in the chat for us. And I'll forward this as well out later, so everyone will have it if you need it, or you can just reach out again. So Sister Karen has shared some resources. She's recommending a movie, Still Alice. That's the name. Still Alice, ALICE. And she says it's a movie that helps to cope with the Alzheimer's journey. And she also recommends the Alzheimer's Society in your area. So wherever you live, Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, they have social workers who are dedicated to help. If you have questions, you can always reach out to the Alzheimer's Society in your local area as well. Seniors need to utilize your gerontologist, and they will look after your body and medication. So there are resources out there for us, and just a matter of knowing and asking. And if you don't know, ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And we were reminded by Sister Alethea so rightly, nothing is a joke. And so, we have to be very tactful in the way we approach things. So with that, I would just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll close out with our benediction tonight. Our benediction will be from the book of Jude, 24 and 25. You can raise your right hands with me. To him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you before his glorious presence without fault and with great joy, to the only God, our Savior, be glory, majesty, power, and authority through Jesus Christ, our Lord, before all ages, now and forevermore. And we say amen. It has been extremely my pleasure, ladies. It was a blast. Thank you so much. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. We have a banquet on the 9th of December, everyone. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, please reach out for your ticket. We still have room. Thank you.
Fasting tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. God bless.
Good night, everyone.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Say good night.
Good night, honey. She's so cute. Take a picture of that.